top 5 tips for Free Fire beginners. Hey there, in this video, I'm going to show you my top 5 tips for beginners who are learning to play Free Fire. As you can tell, I'm still no pro, but there are a few things that I've learned along the way that I'll share with you here. These 5 tips are guaranteed to increase your chances of getting that coveted booyah, and hopefully, they'll stop you from making a mistake like I did and turn this seemingly great double kill into a fail. Tip number 1, the blue area. So you load into your match and you open the map and you're wondering, where do I jump out at? Where do I go? What area is going to have the best possible loot? Well, it's easy to overlook because there's a lot going on the screen, but at the top it tells you that the blue area is the high tier loot zone. The blue area is located on your map and minimap by this blue circle. Every time you load into a new match, the blue area moves, so make sure to check your map to see where it's going to be located. When I jump out and head toward the blue area, I often find myself alone. Maybe I'll encounter one other player, but it definitely isn't this hot zone like it is in most other battle royales. I typically can explore the whole blue area and gather all the loot without ever encountering another player. By landing in the blue zone, it gives you the opportunity to pick up tier 3 and tier 4 armor, as well as gold level guns and items. By starting here, you'll gain a significant advantage over most other players. Tip number 2, drag fire. Free Fire has a pretty strong aim assist effect. As you can see demonstrated here, as long as my reticle is red, I will automatically snap towards the enemy target and begin getting body shots. If you want to get those deadly headshots though, you'll have to drag fire. So instead of just tapping or pressing the fire button, you'll need to drag the fire button upwards. This sounds easier than it actually is. This technique can be done with every gun in the game, but they each have a little different feel to them. The amount you'll need to drag fire is based on the gun's fire rate. By practicing this technique, you'll easily figure out the timing for each different gun, increasing your headshots. Tip number 3, peeking. Peeking is a movement in which you try to get a quick view of an angle or corner without exposing yourself to an enemy or overcommitting to an attack. I will be using this pillar as my cover. At first, it might seem like there is little to no difference if I were to attack this enemy from the left side versus the right side. As I attempt to get a shot on the enemy from the left side of this cover, watch what happens. By the time my reticle becomes red and I'm able to shoot the enemy, my character model is sticking out and is no longer behind cover. Now, as I attempt this from the right side of this cover, you can see that my reticle becomes red and I'm able to shoot the enemy much sooner. This is because of the third-person camera perspective. The reticle is in the center of our screen, but our character model is offset to the left of center. This is what allows us to get an advantage when we peek using the right side. Tip number 4, your loadout. If you were like me, you've probably been equipping your weapons like this. I mean, in every other shooter, you want your long-range weapon set as your primary, right? Well, in Free Fire, this is not the way you should be equipping your weapons. Instead, place your short-range weapons in slot 1. This is because of how the game handles transitioning after using a piece of equipment, like a grenade or goo wall. Let me demonstrate. I have the sniper equipped in slot 2 and the SMG in slot 1. As I close the gap, I'll deploy my goo wall for cover. As soon as it's dropped, the game automatically switches back to the slot 1 gun, which was the SMG. Tip number 5, looting. This is the final tip of our top 5 tips for beginners. As you start utilizing these tips, your player kills will definitely increase. For more Free Fire info, check out my other videos or come watch me stream live. The final tip is when you go to loot that freshly killed player, don't stand still. Keep your character moving while you're looting. The last thing you want to do is end a perfectly good run by being a sitting duck and allowing someone to get a free headshot off on you.